Fucking hell. You're right guys, I'm Leithall, back with another Footstock video, and I've settled for a standard intro here. You see me try to do something cool and it didn't go well, so in today's video we're going to be looking or reviewing and taking a look at my journey on the platform so far. So I've been on Footstock as of yesterday, 4 weeks, so a month on the platform. I'm still fairly new, but I've really enjoyed my time so far. I've made money, I've had fun, as you guys can tell from the content that I'm pumping out. I'm just really enjoying it. I'm really enthusiastic about this platform. A lot of you guys will know I've come over from Football Index, like a lot of the other users have, and I'm certainly not all out of Football Index. I'm on both platforms, but I'm having so much fun on Footstock, so I thought it was only right to make this review video after a month to give you guys my opinion. So we're going to be looking at how much I've deposited against my collection value, having a look at my collection in general, as well as looking at my transaction history for some of my best packs, and some of my best single roulette wins maybe. So it's going to be a good one. Let's see how we get on. Okay then, let's start off by taking a look at how much I've deposited into Footstock against my current collection value. So if we move over into this screen here, this is where we can check out how much we've deposited and withdrawn from the platform. Now I'd say that my withdrawals and my collection value is probably fairly average in terms of the community. There are lots with less in there that are on a much smaller budget, and there are a lot of content creators out there that have a hell of a lot more money in there. Remember to always gamble responsibly and only bet what you can afford. Now personally, I haven't held back much this month. Everything I could afford has gone into the platform, and I think that really shows the faith I have in the platform and the room for growth I think Footstock has got. I think we're very, very early on. When you look at the likes of Football Index, that's kind of 3 or 4 years in. We're only just a year into Footstock. Obviously I'm only a month in. We haven't touched any advertisement yet to grab more users. We haven't touched any of that. It's all natural growth so far, and I think that the market's got a lot of growth to go, a lot of stuff to be implemented, and I just think getting in early is going to benefit you the most. So that's why I've gone in as much as I could so far this month. So if we change this to all time and click show, you can see that I'm £850 in. Now that value went up a lot as of Friday because I've done my live stream where I've done a £300 pack opening experiment. So a lot of money has been recently pumped in. With that in mind, £850 deposited, let's go over and take a look at my current collection value. So we click into the collection, and as of right now, my collection of players I have is £1,295, near enough, and £13 in the balance. So we're comfortably over £1,300 with the £850 deposited. Therefore, after the month review, we are at £450 profit. So I'm very happy with that. We've made that in a variety of different ways that we'll take a look at in a second. We have to remember that the market is constantly changing. If we were to refresh this a few times in the video, we'd see that this price changes. Yesterday, probably about 24 hours ago, we see a market low since I've been on the platform. And in the last 24 hours, it's gone up probably about £100, so it's looking good. I can see the market picking up some momentum again. Maybe 5 days ago, we see a market high where this same collection was probably worth £1,600. So it's up and down, but I think long term it's a kind of up twice, down one, up twice. So I think long term we're going up. We've also got an announcement that is going to be coming from Footstock tomorrow, what is Monday. So I think that could be a very positive thing for the collection. I'm not sure what that is. It's all kind of guesses at the moment, but I think it's going to be a very good addition, whatever it is, to Footstock. So now we'll have a little look at who I've got in my collection. A lot of these are players that I bought, so I kind of went through and made a list of a variety of goalkeepers, defenders, midfielders and attackers I wanted in my collection as the bare minimum basically that I wanted to have available to me to enter into tournaments at any given point. I think it's also worth saying that my collection is at this point, this amount right now, and I've made £450 profit without really, well, certainly without any major tournament wins. Now that's something that I'm working on to be better, placing higher in these tournaments to make money that way. I've got a series on my YouTube channel of road to top 10 in a tournament, so that just shows how bad I am at tournaments. I've had no big wins, so if I was just to have picked a couple of big wins in the tournaments, this profit of £450 could easily be £1,000. So a lot of money to be made. But as I was saying, I made a list of players that I wanted, so a lot of these have been bought. A lot of them have also been attained via packs, or single roulette, and kind of means like that. So some of these weren't on my list, but I packed them, for example, and I was like, well, if I pack them, I'm going to keep them. It's a player that I wanted, but potentially couldn't afford to begin with. So the biggies at the moment are Rashford and De Bruyne, the only two legendary cards we have. Both sat at over £100 at the moment. Scott McTominay I got from a single roulette just yesterday, who is also going to be changing to a legendary, so that will actually knock De Bruyne down into the epic category based on his PPG score. I'm not going to get into that right now, that's a separate video, but so we've got Scott McTominay, a couple of Richarlisons that we packed in our stream on Friday, a Mane that I plan to keep for a long time. I'm not going to go through all of them. We've got a couple of Ings and a couple of Mahrez's, but based on packs and single roulette that we're probably going to sell maybe at a good time, one of each. As we look down, these are the players we have effectively. So let's take a look at this in a different way. Let's sort it by price, because we've also got some players that haven't got very good PPGs, but are highly valued. For example, we have Sterling here, who's only a 2-star player because of his PPG of 13, but he's actually worth £50. That's another player I won on single roulette the other day on our stream. We'll take a look at some of my best packs and single roulette wins in just a second. But when we look at some of these other ones who are expensive, they haven't got the PPG, so kind of Tammy sits up there with only 11 PPG. I've got a couple of Madisons that is destined for greatness, so I plan to keep him. He's a great player. A couple of Sakas that's very young. So there's, I mean, generally it does sit. I mean, Pulisic is fairly highly priced for his low PPG, but again, that's potential. That's what people see, that this guy has potential to reach in the future. Same with Cantwell and Buendia. I'm from Norwich. They're not playing for a great club. I think most of you guys will definitely agree with me there, but both of them have potential to go to another Premier League club or certainly excel in the future. Same with Billy Gilmore. I'm not going to go through the whole collection, but you kind of get the idea of it. Curtis Jones is another young one. So if we now change this by, what do we want to change it by? The count, how many I've got of them. I haven't really been stacking up on players at all yet. I've stacked up on this man purely because he's going to be turning inactive. He's left Wolves, so when he turns inactive, expect a YouTube video on my channel of me going through and swapping them for other 1-star players. So we've got a few Musettes just because he's very cheap. I've seen him at like 250 before. I see him down at that price. Other than that, we've just got a few players. But in the future, as I have more money in this platform, I plan to stack up on players I really believe in and see potential in. So I think that is really kind of where we're at with the collection. I don't think I want to go into any more detail. I've got a lot of players. I was at the start very strict on selling players that I didn't have any interest in, like these players, but for now I'm just kind of keeping them. So I've packed a lot of these on my video, on my stream the other day. I'm just kind of keeping them in my collection right now. They're kind of sat there. They're not doing any harm. They keep my collection numbers up because there's also rewards you can win for how many cards you have in your collection. So that's where we're at with the collection. Let's start off by taking a look at all the packs I've ever opened on Footstock. Now, believe it or not, I haven't actually opened that many. So if we look down to here, these are all the packs we opened in our stream the other day. If we go right down to the bottom, we'll see our first ever pack purchased on the 25th of April, so about a month ago. And back then there was an offer when you signed up to get 2 times players in your first pack you opened, so it's like a double pack. Now if I'd have known more about the platform then and had more confidence in it, I'd have 100% bought a £100 pack here, so I'd have got 20 players for £100, but instead I used it on a £25 pack that I'm sure was still successful. I mean, first look at this, I probably wouldn't have even known how good all these tournament vouchers are. I mean, that's a first for me. We got a lot of £5 tournament vouchers here. Unfortunately, it doesn't show you the actual bonus players you got in this, so you only see the first 5 players you got. But from that, straight away, we got Deulofeu and Cantwell that, in the current market price, would pay for that pack back easily. But I think at the time they were a lot lower. I think Deulofeu was like £7 compared to 20 now. And unfortunately, we can't see the bonus players, and I can't remember for the life of me who we got in that. We then opened a little £5 pack, nothing crazy good. I'm not going to look at all of them, any that jump out at me. That was a very cheap standard pack there with a discount. but we got shafted on it, to be honest with you. Another very big discount on a £25. Looks like we got a fair amount of tournament discounts in this, but we did only get Minamino, Sidibe. That's actually a really poor pack, but luckily enough we only spent £15 on it, so it wasn't quite as bad. £25 pack there. Another, oh no, I was going to say a bad £25 pack. We've got Anthony Martial, so that's a good one. And here we have our first ever £100 pack, but I had a 25% discount on it, so it was £75. I think I opened this. I did. I opened this in a video, did I? I did. I remember it. What a video this was, guys. It was an incredible pack, to say the least. As you can see, we packed a Doherty, a Harry Kane, a Mane, I didn't even realise we got Mahrez. We got Mahrez and Azpilicueta. I mean, you don't see many packs as good as that, ever. Got a Laporte here. Nothing special. Got a Jack Grealish there, so that probably paid for that pack back. And here we go with our second £100 pack that we had a 40% discount on. So generally I don't really like opening £100 packs unless I have a discount, but I'm kind of at the point where I've used all them now and it's going to be a while till I get any more. So another incredible pack. Another one that I really didn't remember. At the time, I don't think it was as good as it is now, but this is incredible. How can I not remember these packs? It's only been a month. We got a Richarlison. I didn't realise we've packed a Richarlison 3 times. We got a Richarlison, 2 Calvert-Lewins, a Højbjerg, and a Delafeu, and a lot of £15 discounts. What a pack! Where's my luck gone? My stream, we probably broke even on the £300 pack opening experiment. I don't want to ruin it. Go check out the highlights if you weren't there for that stream. And then lots of £5 packs I just want to make small profit on. Nothing major, nothing major. And then at this point I think we're into the stream. So we made some profit from some £5 packs from my memory. We then had a couple of awful £20 packs. But then of course, how could you forget? If you were in the stream, you know what happened. We packed back-to-back Richarlisons in £25 packs. And then in the £100 pack, probably made our money back with a Ings, Mahrez, Maddison back-to-back. So that's where we're at with packs. Now I've filtered this by Stat Roulette Win. I've done so many in my time, it's going to be really tough to get through. And just know that there are some really nice wins in here, but you're seeing all my wins. I've also lost a lot as well, and I had a period of a week or two where I was really struggling in the roulette. The last few days I've been very successful. This is where, when I started as well, you could use bonus players in single roulette. Now that was a big thing early on, and it made me a hell of a lot of money. Probably, I dread to think how much money it made me early on. And unfortunately that can't be done anymore. They've changed that, and understandably that the bonus players are there to be used in tournaments. So as we look through, let's look for any big players that we were able to win. So we've got a Morpay. I don't know why these packs are randomly showing up in there. I'm literally just going to show you any that jump out. So Chris Wood, alright. David Brooks, decent. Firmino, so that was probably our first ever big win, and that was with my man Ollie McBurney winning us a Firmino. We won a Raheem Sterling. This is going to really shock me looking through these. I can't remember it. I know I won a Raheem Sterling the other day on stream, but I did not know I won one early on. Wow, but he was probably a lot less at the time, but still, that is a big win. A Joelinton, decent win, an Aguero, a Reece Nelson, an Iheanacho, Daniel James, Pulisic, Jesus. So these are all won from the value you see down the right hand side here. Obviously I'm putting a player up, but I'm risking, but this is pretty much how much it's cost me when you're not looking at the losses. Overall, of course, I've profited massively from the single roulette. It goes without saying. Won a Harvey Elliott, that's quite a good one. Bernardo Silva, and this was one of the big ones, and I've got a picture on my Twitter that I was actually going to go and look. We used a Ward-Prowse, so we kind of were quite ballsy to put a Ward-Prowse in there, but to win a Kevin De Bruyne, and that's the one I've still got on my collection today. One that of course I wanted on my collection, but when I writ down my list, I couldn't really afford a De Bruyne. So to have got him in a single roulette, I was like, yep, we'll have him, and we'll not be selling him anytime soon. I want a Højbjerg, want a Ryan Fraser, Loftus-Cheek, I was happy with that one. I think this is somewhat the the streak that we were really struggling. So we were losing a lot of players, honestly, a lot we were losing. And when we were winning, there were only these kind of players, like these shitty players that were barely making our money back from what we were putting in. A Loftus Cheek, and then here was a big one from probably about, a few days ago, 3 or 4 days ago. We won a Harry Kane. That was a massive one, the second biggest we've ever won. And then soon we're going to be at our stream, little run that we done. Here we go, so we won a Raheem Sterling, a Kovacic, a Pulisic, and that was pretty much, and a Saka. And then this was yesterday, well, we got very, very lucky on a Scott McTominay. That was one I wanted but didn't want to pay that amount of money for. A Proper, and then a Mahrez, and then I believe a Wilson and an Aguero. So I had a very good run yesterday as well. Anyway, let's look back and just kind of have a look at how many we've entered into tournament-wise. So these are all the ones we've entered into. Most of them have been used by coupons, so we haven't paid to enter them. And then we've got the odd one we actually paid for. So I'm not looking into all of them, but I'm just kind of showing you roughly how many we've entered. So not a massive amount, to be honest with you. So maybe I can't complain that I haven't really been winning many. So these are the only 5 that I've ever won, but fairly decent, some nice returns. In terms of the money I've physically actually entered into tournaments that we just see, we're probably up on that, but of course we've used a lot of coupons where we haven't made money. But in terms of what we've paid, our real money to go into tournaments, looking back, we've probably made our money back. First ever win was £11.91, and that was in a amateur tournament. So I'm not sure exactly where we placed, it doesn't tell you that much. Then we had a £12.75 in an amateur, so again, they're both quite good wins. A couple of not real wins. Beginners tournament, $2.45, and then a free roll, 29p. And then we had this amateur a little bit more lately. It was quite a good one. I think we placed maybe 35th, I want to say. So £28 was a decent win there. So in terms of the tournaments, that just shows you that isn't really where my profit I've been making has been coming from. The final place I want to take a look into with you guys before I wrap up this 1 month review of Footstock is my reward section. So this is a great place to come, and generally they're objectives that you obtain naturally without having to try and aim for them. But it's a great place to kind of win free stuff through the rewards and objectives that are in place. So we are, in terms of players owned or cards owned, we were at 250 at one point. I think we're down to 236 now, so we need to work towards 1,000 next for a free rare card. So that's a reason maybe not to sell all your stinkers at the bottom of your collection for 15-20p, because at the end of the day they could end up being a really good player. Plus they kind of keep your collection numbers up, so they're good for these rewards and objectives. I have surpassed 50 common cards in my collection. I think we're working towards 100 now, so that's one that will be coming fairly soon, but it's only a defender card, so not too exciting. And then we haven't been able to achieve the 50 rare cards, the 50 epic, or the 25 legendary yet, but yeah, they're all a bit out of reach at the moment on my current budget, but we'll get there eventually. Next we've got the tournament entries, so we've got 7 out of the 10 beginners. I think I'm going to start to enter more and more beginner tournaments. I just think they're really great because they are a bit more of a football knowledge and you're not limited by the money you have. So in the pro, unless you've got every player in the game, what a lot of people do, you are somewhat limited to who you can put in there and just getting absolutely swept out by a very expensive team. So I think the beginners, actually there's a lot of money to be made there, and probably more of a chance of kind of winning realistically. I've then been in 10 amateurs and 10 pros that have won me pack discounts. Other than that, in terms of winning money in tournaments, here we go. Yeah, we're miles off on all of them. And then finally the roulette tournaments, we've smashed through all of them. 250, we actually worked for them on purpose to try get these pack discounts. I think Footstock could definitely add a couple more here, 500 and 1,000. That would be pretty cool. And then there's also a lot of other objectives that I think they could add. So like virtual battles, haven't got any yet, so I think that would be a great addition. Like how many entries and how many wins within virtual battles, that would get people involved. And then also this one that I came up with just a second ago, I think it's genius, is if you was to own a certain amount of players from each club, you then get a free player from that club. So own 50 players from Liverpool and then you get a free Liverpool player. I like the idea of that a lot. So I think there's certainly a lot of stuff they could implement within the rewards section. So there we have it, guys. That is my 1 month on Footstock review. If you didn't catch it already, I've had a lot of fun and I've made a lot of money. So in recap, I've deposited £850 onto the platform. My collection is currently worth more than £1,300, meaning I've made £450 profit in the month I've spent on the platform so far. I've made that in a variety of different ways, sometimes through skill, sometimes through luck. I've made lots of mistakes and been unlucky at times that could have meant that my collection was worth more than it is right now. And I haven't even had a major tournament win yet, so that is all still to come and money to be made. It would also be criminal to not mention 2 other great things about this platform. The community, it is great even over on Twitter, the community is great, but I'd definitely recommend getting involved in the Slack group. And on there everyone is so friendly and always willing to help. We're all there for each other and we just want to have fun together and make money together effectively on this great platform from our football knowledge. But more so than that, I would say, is the team that they have working there. I just think they're so approachable and contactable via Slack or via email, and they're always there ready to help. Of course, this is probably going to slow down to a certain extent. They can't keep up this level of service all the way through, I would imagine. They might prove me wrong, but I think obviously we're a fairly low user base at the moment. As that increases, it's going to be tough to keep up. But so far, so good. It's been incredible. Just a bit of kind of chat with them in general, but also go to them if you need help or you're having any sort of trouble. So props to that, props to the community and the team working at Footstock for doing such a great job in my first month. So with that being said, if you haven't signed up to Footstock, please get involved. Use my link in the description below, it helps me out a lot. If you don't have the money to put into Footstock yet, just get signed up and claim those 50 free bonus players with my link. They can go a long way. You can put them into tournaments, and they're generally, 50 bonus players are generally worth over £200, depending on your luck. So it's definitely something to get involved in, and of course you can work from there. I would 100% recommend it. That is the outcome of this video. If you enjoyed this video, please help me out by giving it a like. And of course, if you're new around here and want to see more Footstock content, make sure you subscribe to the channel. I've got more to come. I've been pumping out lots of late. I also stream every Friday night on YouTube, for the near future at least, and it's a lot of fun, so come join us over there if you haven't already. And if you haven't followed me on Twitter, make sure to do so. Like I say, that's where I interact with a lot of the Footstock community. It's a great place to be. Get signed up with the link, and I'll see you guys in my next video.